Hello everybody and welcome to this walkthrough of the Gokasho 9-hole cup. So we've got all 9 holes of the Gokasho Bay. Obviously that's been a long time course in Tour 10. They have changed the hole order a little bit, but what you're seeing here is the order that we're going to get in the tournament. So bear in mind there is a little bit of a discrepancy there. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so you can receive notifications of when we go live. On the channel next week I will be live streaming all divisions, so rookie, pro, expert and 2 master accounts as well. So plenty of content there for you all, especially if you're going to step up a division, which is a very good thing to do for the mini. So here we go, let's have a look at the holes, and as always I'm putting my suggested routes from my experience and knowledge of playing the holes along with general elevations. Bear in mind these are not absolute guaranteed elevations for drops, it's just what I usually work with, and you will need to tweak them depending on the way you're playing the holes and also the wind direction and wind strengths that we're going to get throughout the week in the tournament. Hole number 1 then, which is a par 4 to begin with, and a good chance of eagle here. Now there's only one route I ever play on this hole, so regardless of wind direction or strength, this is the route that I would always go just for consistency. And this is illustrated on the diagram there, 10% on the drive, and I'm just using a bit of left spin, bit of top spin as appropriate with the wind direction to land firstly where the red X is. Usually I would position left-hander the red ring to the rough with Thor's hammer or APOC, but obviously different drivers will have different accuracies. But you want to get the ball to run to the end of the shadow of the largest tree, just where the tip of the arrow is on the diagram there. So adapt your spins as needed. The fairway does fall down to the right slightly, so I always play this with a little bit of left spin. So from that position, if you can get that ball to that general area, your second shot, even though I've put 0% elevation, I actually use a different adjustment here which works in pretty much every type of wind. And with the sniper, I will put the target on the fairway so that the top of the clear ring is all on the fairway, where that red cross is marked near the green. So the white ring will be in the rough, but the top arc of the clear ring kind of going along the area of the fairway before the rough starts there, so just get that all on there. And I play an adjustment of 1 to 1 minus 1. So if I had a wind of 7.5 miles an hour, I would adjust 6.5 rings with the sniper, using the spin to put the ball guide to the hole. The only thing I would say, if you have tailwind, make sure your ball guide is slightly short of the hole to account for the second bounce push. And if you have headwind, make sure the ball guide goes through the hole, maybe half a square to 1 square, depending on the strength of the wind. But in pretty much every type of wind, that adjustment there, 1 to 1 minus 1, has been dropping for an eagle a high percentage of time. Hole number 2 now, otherwise known as the bumpy shootout, which you won't really be able to see from an aerial view, but the approach to the green here is very, very bumpy indeed. Now I've put 10% here as a general elevation, which is something to work from. Looking into the specifics, the red cross there is where you're most likely going to be bouncing from front tee. Try and find a good consistent landing position. You will find when you're moving your target, the ball guide will catch different bounces, so it's important to try and keep your landing position the same. So that's where we're looking at from the front tee. Middle tee, either the red or the blue mark there. In tailwind, I would play with the Goliath or the Grizzly if you can reach, using some topspin. And in the case of tailwind, actually, I would play max plus 20. Usually no top or backspin, but with a click of left or right spin against the direction of the wind if you have cross tailwind. Max plus 20 there, and you're looking at the ball to roll, bounce and then roll down towards the pin, taking the slope just before the fringe. The blue cross is indicating the landing position with the sniper from the middle tee, and that's where I would be playing from if I've got any form of headwind. And in that case, either mid or max plus 10%, 4 or 5 backspin, bit of right spin, and occasionally a bit of counter curl if you have wind pushing you right to left. You can also in level crosswind play with the long iron as well from the red cross. It all depends what suits you best. There is a third shot which I've not shown here, but if you see that bunker on the right hand side near the kind of orangey tree, you can play a sand bump here. I believe it plays 10% elevation. Better in some winds than others. It's not a shot that I play, but I have seen people use it in Tour 10 shootouts and become very close to a hole-in-one there. But obviously it does carry an element of risk, and you need to be aware of your adjustment there. Hole number 3 then, we have a par 5 here. And again, usually only one route that I play here. I will describe a second route, but this is the one that I'll be playing most often. The drive bouncing where the red cross is, I play 10% extra. Going to play with a good amount of topspin, 4 bars, 4.5 topspin, maybe more if you can. Bouncing over the rough, bit of left spin as well, and if you need to, bit of left curl doesn't go amiss. And then rolling the ball down to the tip of that arrow on the second piece of fairway. I play that 10%. From there, you've got 2 options. For the tournament, and especially as it's a 9-hole cup, I'm going to recommend that you go for the rough bump immediately before the green. Crosswind, that does play at 0%. In tailwind and headwind, it does become a little more tricky because you will lose elevation adjusting into the water. In tailwind, and in headwind you will gain elevation with your landing spot adjusting up on the green, so you may need to tweak your adjustments there. There's a fairly decent patch of rough to aim at, but you'll need to obviously apply spins as needed with that one, but it is the best chance of the albatross. If you don't fancy that, just go for a bounce over where I've got 0% marked on the diagram with right spin and right curl just to bounce yourself over onto the green. But in terms of gaining an advantage, the rough bump is the way to go. The only time I do a different drive here, which I've not marked on, is if we get a strong straight headwind, and I will be playing, rather than on the red cross, play to the left before that first bunker and just bounce myself over safely. Be careful though that you take care of your ball guide, because that little patch of fairway between the 2 bunkers in the middle of the diagram, it's not the most consistent, and you can catch a glitch and roll too far there. So there we go, hole number 3. Before we look at hole number 4, I'm going to let you know there is a playlist on the channel now with lots of replays of the Gokasho Bay. These will be from second tee from Tour 10, but it will still give you a good idea of some shots, plenty of which I'll have described in this walkthrough video. So please do check out the playlist. A link is going to be in the video description down below. And also don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as well, and please do tell your clan mates as well about the channel. If they want to have a look at these holes in Gokasho Bay, then please do share the link to the video. Hole number 4 then, another par 3, which is without doubt the easiest hole in the course here on Gokasho Bay, otherwise known as the flat shootout. So this one for me, 20% elevation. Front tee, you're going to be bouncing where the blue cross is, similar to how you would play it in the golden shot with your long iron, adapting spins as needed. Probably going to need 2 or 3 bars of backspin though to get the ball to stop in time. And from middle tee, you've got a choice here. I always play bouncing before the bunker with the Goliath in all wind directions. That one plays 20%. Medium numbers if you have tailwind or crosswind. Tailwind, we're looking about 1.5 topspin, and if you have level crosswind, 2 topspin. If you've got any form of headwind, I play max numbers plus 20 from the red cross with the Goliath, anywhere between 2.5 to 3 bars of topspin, but you will need to offset your ball guide to the left of the flag, because there is a slope on the green that runs from the left just gently down to where the pin is situated. So make sure you offset a good couple of squares if you have left to right wind, because obviously you'll get an extra wind push as well. You can, if you like, play sniper max backspin shot where the blue cross is indicated from second tee. I don't do that, some people do. I think it plays 60% elevation, but for me, I'm very confident with the Goliath shot and I drop that more times than I miss. So for me, it's going to be long iron all day and every day. And if you know this shootout well in Tour 10, you're going to have an advantage here. It will be important to drop this hole. It is a very easy par 3. So if you can get dialed in on this one with varying winds and know your spin adjustments, then you're going to have a very good advantage. Hole number 5 then, which is another par 4. And I've got 2 routes here. If we have any crosswind or tailwind, I will go for the black line all day and every day. I do believe it's worth spending a power 3 ball here, or even if you're lacking in distance or topspin, you might actually want to put a berserker on, just to make sure you clear the rough after that first piece of fairway. So aim to land where the red cross is, put a load of topspin on, a little bit of right spin, adjust 10% max numbers. If you are able to push up, then please do so because it will give you more distance. And you can either bounce and then rough and roll out to where the tip of the arrow is, or you can try and bounce and clear the rough completely. There are some inconsistent spots in that rough though, and sometimes depending on the wind strength, you will get stuck in the rough, but you will easily make it on the green in 2. Be careful not to go too greedy with the topspin, is you can roll into one of the greenside fairway bunkers, but that is the most aggressive route. From the tip of that black arrow, you'll either have a min or a mid short iron, or you're going to have a max distance wedge if you get a good roll out or if you clear the rough completely. Elevation there, I usually play 0, but if you've got strong crosswind, then I might add a little bit of elevation as well. Mix and match with the slider, do what's best for you, but it's a very good opportunity and a very level flat green. So if you can get to a good spot there, good chance of eagle. If we have any headwind, I would always play on the white line. I don't see any point in going full blast because you will end up in the rough near where that red cross is marked, and if you do have headwind, you're then going to have headwind on the second shot, and it's going to be very difficult to reach the green in 2. So I play along the white line, try and get the ball to the tip of that arrow as near to the rough as you want to risk it without rolling in the rough, of course. 10% there, and from there I would play at least 10% on the second shot with your wood club. In some strong winds, especially if you have some crosswind, you're going to get more secondary wind effect, so you might even want to go 15, sometimes 20% second shot on the white route. So there we go, good eagle if we do have tailwind. If not, I'd be going on the right hand side of hole number 5. Hole number 6 then, which is a par 5. Now before we look at the arrows, let's just look at where the tees are here, because for rookie players you won't have encountered this course for a while. I've marked with a green R in brackets which one the rookie tee is. It's the one that gives you more of a straight line over the hole, right hand side of the diagram. On the left hand side you've obviously got the middle tee there, which is level, and then at the back we've got the master tee. So that's where the 3 tees are. Now we're going to look at the actual diagram, so just make this a little bit bigger. So what we have here, let's talk with the black line first. 10% on the drive, 10% second shot. So with the drive, from either rookie or from pro and expert, you're just wanting to get there in the middle of that fairway, just where the little curve is, top of the black arrow. So obviously it will be a pretty much straight shot from rookie. But pro and expert, you're going to want a little bit of left spin as well. Try and take yourself around the corner if you can. Don't go too long though, because there is a little slope down to the bunker there if you do overshoot. From there, you're then going to have a wood club to the pin most likely, which I would play 10% extra. Very tricky to find a consistent landing spot before the green, so do your best. There are some undulations in the fairway at that point where the second red cross is, so you just got to try and look for something. But it is droppable from distance, even though it's a tricky shot. It's a good chance. The white curved arrow there that you see is a really good go for those with an APOC, pro and expert, and that will be a power hook. And there's a good aim point there which most people use. I don't have it marked on the screen, but if you can just see that fairway bunker in the middle of the diagram, follow to the right of that and slightly up. There's one tree there on its own with orange leaves. People tend to use that as an aim point, either aiming left or right of that, depending how much side wind they have. And then it's just a case of applying topspin and side spin, and you go full over power, full curl, power hook, land on the fairway and bounce, and you can roll pretty much on the green there if you do well. If not, you've got either a minimum thorn or a distance wedge, but a great chance for an albatross there, but I'd only attempt that if you do have tailwind. Hole number 7 then, the pot bunker shootout. This is one of the most frustrating shootouts in Tour 10, especially for people who are new to the course. Yeah, very difficult here. Not only is the landing position hard to get a very consistent spot there, you need to know your adjustments, but also the green slopes up towards the pin, but then slopes off, and it also slopes down to the right. So you do need to be fairly accurate with what you're doing here. General elevation, I say 10% here. Some people may disagree, but in terms of wind-specific elevation, from middle tee, I usually play 10% max if we have left to right wind. If you have straight headwind, I would play max plus 20. And if you get the weird wind where you've got tailwind with a right to left, if you're going to adjust down into the bunker, it's very deep. You can either alter your adjustment, play mid minus 10 with sniper works, or you could adjust and then push up, but you're going to push up, I would say, at least a ring. Otherwise, you will lose distance and go short. And if you bounce on the wrong part of that slope, you can get a really ugly kick into the sand, and you won't end up on the green at all. So that's the most common route there in all wind directions, but you are going to have to compensate spins and ball guide. Going to be very, very difficult to drop this one. The alternative, you could play after the bunker completely on the beginning of the green with the Guardian, playing with a lot of backspin, or you can bounce immediately before that first bunker with a couple of bars of topspin with your long iron and carry over it there. But again, there is definitely error which will take you in danger if you do not adjust correctly here. So this is going to be an interesting one. As I say, difficult one to drop, but that X there is where I would usually play from second and third tee with the sniper, white ring just falling into the bunker, and then adjust from there with hole number 7. Hole number 8 then, par 4, final par 4 of the course, and again, very good chance for eagle here. Black line if we have any crosswind or anything with a hint of tailwind. That's where I'm going to go, aiming where the red cross is, going max top spin with some right spin. After you've done adjusting, I would push up. You've got room usually. If you obviously have straight tailwind, you might want to leave yourself a couple of rings room rather than go directly into the rough or the bunker afterwards. But usually you're okay to push up, play with right curl. 10% extra maximum numbers on that drive, and it's going to take you, depending how much top spin and wind you've got, you're going to be rolling up around the tip of the arrow, or even further than that actually if you get a good amount of tailwind, which is going to leave you with a short iron. Usually I would play 0% elevation at club range with the thorn, but bear in mind sometimes you're going to have to land on the downhill slope to the green after the bunker, and you need to find a good consistent landing spot. Plenty of videos of eagles on my Tour 10 playlist for this hole. It's a hole I feel very confident on, and it's a great chance if you do have good wind to get near the green with your drive. If you have headwind, I'd be playing the left route with the white line. Cut the corner if you like. Bit of top spin, get yourself to the tip of the arrow. That is going to leave you a sniper to the green. The only thing I would say, if you're going to play with the white route on your second shot, make sure you compensate for the wind. I would suggest in headwind play 10% on the second shot, because you are going to get a huge secondary wind push over those bunkers before the green on hole number 8. Finally, it is worth noting that there has been a power slice played here as well. which can also get you very, very close to the green. So if you fancy going for power slice with tailwind, especially if you've got a bit of left to right, follows the direction of the hole itself, then that might be worth a go as well. And finally onto hole number 9, and as usual we're finishing with a par 5, and it's a tough one, and the wind strength and direction here is going to affect whether you will easily reach the green in 2, or even in some cases you may not be able to reach the green in 2 at all. Generally the route is exactly the same. Obviously there's not anywhere else to play other than straightforward on the drive, 10% extra. The goal is to get the ball again to the end of the fairway without risking going into the rough. So make sure if you've got tailwind that you're not going to go too long. Bear in mind you will get some secondary wind push as well. But that's where I'm looking to go. Obviously a quarterback or a rock, something with good ball guide, Thor's hammer, very, very good here. And from there, the second shot, obviously in tour play you don't know what wind you're going to get. In the tournament we will. If you've got crosswind or tailwind, then it's going to be easy to bounce over where the second red cross is with your sniper with a decent amount of right curl, top spin and right spin, and then you clip the rough after the stream and roll out onto the fringe or the green. If you obviously have headwind, it's not going to be possible to do that, and you will find yourself just having to lay up on that second fairway. If you can't reach the green in 2, the wedge or the thorn from the fairway before the stream usually plays minus 10% on that one, and the green is slightly uphill. So bear in mind, if you're using a wedge, if you're near the green or the other side of the stream, make sure you got your ball guide going through the hole. You do not want to be short in line. If we have really strong tailwind, obviously you can go full blast, stick a berserker on or a globe if you want, land first bounce where the tip of the first arrow is and clear that big patch of rough completely, or at least roll out with topspin, and then that obviously leaves you a much easier long iron shot onto the green itself. So again, this hole is really going to be wind dependent, and going to be interesting to see if this is going to be an easy eagle, or if we're just going to be having to lay up and go for the eagle with the thorn. What I will say about the second shot quickly, I've put 0% and plus 10. If I'm playing tour play with the sniper here, if I have tailwind, I actually play this plus 10% to account for the extra push and the carry that you will get on the ball in tailwind. If I have crosswind, then I play it 0. Obviously people do have different elevations that they work with, but leave some room with the sniper, because the curl is obviously going to push your landing position, so make sure you're not pushing the bullseye too close to the rough on that one. It is possible to do that shot in headwind, but my rule of thumb, if you've got anything over 9 or 10 miles an hour, chances are you're not going to make it over the stream, so I would lay up in that instance from my experience playing this hole in Tour 10. So there we go, that's what I think on hole number 9. So that concludes all 9 holes of the Gokasho 9-hole cup. Hope you found it useful and it's helped some of you that may not be as familiar with this course as a lot of the players who regularly play Tour 10. It's a good fun course and I'm looking forward to the tournament. And don't forget to check out the Gokasho playlist, like and subscribe on the channel as well. And I will see you all next week where we'll be playing all 4 divisions. Take care, bye for now.